The dynamic of my collection is changing rapidly. I have actually sold or am selling more cars this year than I have gained. Of course, if you don't count the cars that I have on order. Speaking of the cars I have on order, we just did a vlog with the 12 cars that I do have on order, and I discussed the changing dynamic of my collection.
If you haven't seen that vlog, check it out. It's a good one.
One of them I have never stated publicly. But basically, I am just starting to really enjoy most my hypercars, my really special supercars. So not so much like the Ferrari, but the McLaren 765 LT Spider is really fun. The Ferrari SF90 that I have coming up, that is a really special supercar. And then vibe cars like my Limousine, my Countach, and a Testarossa that I'm trying to find. So those are the three buckets. If they don't fit within that bucket, probably not gonna hold on to the car.
To my dismay, he got another limo. We'll go over it later in the video. But there's another one coming. Let's start off with the GTR. As you guys know, we built this car specifically for YouTube. He actually decided to make this 2,000 horsepower because of a TikTok comment. We'll pin it right here.
This doesn't really fit in any of those buckets. It doesn't give a vibe. You can't really shoot flames while we're driving safely, and that was a big deal to me. And it's a Nissan. I know that some people work really hard to get a car like this, and I respect that. But at the end of the day, when you've got a stable full of hypers, special supercars, and this is not a vibe car, it's just never ever gonna get driven.
That's true. If you guys are in the market for a 2,000 horsepower Nissan GTR, hit us up because it is for sale. Yeah. The car is actually amazing. It's just like when you have a Bugatti and a LaFerrari, why are you going to walk into your garage and drive this?
Well, because it's faster, but it feels a lot less stable.
It is faster, yes.
Yes, it just feels less stable.
You're not your scene. Literally the only reason that Steve got this car is for YouTube content, TikTok, Instagram. You guys, if there's any cars that you want to see in the future, join the collection, comment on the video because we may actually, if you want to see like a build series or something crazy, comment and let us know because we can do it.
As long as it fits within the buckets.
Yes, within the buckets.
So vibe car would be great. You know, an R32, something like that. That's a vibe. Rolls Royce. I have a brand new Phantom on order. Quickly show the spec for me, Lawrence, because it's so fun. I'm having so much fun ordering new cars because I can pick everything how I want them. This is going to go bye-bye since I have that coming in a few months, and I've said it before, but I think that the market is really, it's probably a little over peak, so the market went like this. Now it's on its slight way down, but I think that in 3 to 6 months, this is worth a lot less money. So that's part of the reason that's fueling a lot of the sales this year is if I'm not going to drive them and the market really is at peak or just over peak, it's time to sell now. I don't want to lose $30,000, $40,000 on this thing in 6 months. So the Phantom arrives right around February. Let's get rid of this now. I'll be able to get through the winter. Poor me, with just a
Urus, Jeep Wrangler 392. Yes. What other dailies? You have Model X. Check out the Man Story kit we're doing on the Phantom when it arrives. It's going to be baller. I'll pin a comment right here too. We disclosed it in a different video in the past, but that thing's gonna be sick.
Yep, 24-inch wheels, body kit. I am very excited. 488 GTB. This is Old Smoky, and took it into Lake Forest Ferrari. They got it nice and fixed up, and it has a clean bill of health now. Don't really drive this one. Like, there are just so many better options coming, especially with the SF90. And we did a little nod back on the SF90 where we did yellow calipers, yellow wheels. You can show a super quick picture of that one. To give a nod back to this Ferrari, and it just looked really tasteful. This was one of my most modded cars. It's got the full Vorsteiner body kit. It has the wing by DMC. It has a tune, actually. It has downpipes. Yeah. And it's really loud, it's fast, and it's fun. But the other cars are just so much more fast and fun. So back to the peak market value thing. Sell it now while I'm gonna get a lot of money and then not have to worry about that later.
I remember when I first got my job, this car felt so freaking fast to me. And now getting out of the Bugatti, the Senna, the LaFerrari, like it feels like you can't keep up with the rest of the cars when you're in this. That's crazy because this car really is fast in its own right, but hypercars are so much freaking faster.
I have 10 faster cars than this right now.
Isn't that crazy? Yes. In 2 years. Yes.
Can you imagine what it's going to look like in 2 more years? Oh.
Speaking of the SF90 spec, for all the haters who got mad at me for doing the carbon bucket seats, Steve, do you want to tell them that you actually like those buckets?
Yeah, some of the stuff got skipped over, but at first I didn't like them, went and tried them out, and then ended up seeing them later on in the spec with all the yellow that we had changed, and I did end up liking them. So carbon is the way to go in that. It is. This is my Lamborghini Urus. This has become my daily driver. I loved it so much, and with getting the new Escalade, having those two vehicles, allowed me to get rid of my Tesla Plaid. I just wasn't enjoying the what do they call it, the yoke steering wheel. The blinkers and everything being on the wheel just really frustrated me. So even though that was a badass car and I love Teslas, still have a Model X, Plaid had to go. We actually traded in our Land Rover Defender for this. Defender might be the worst new car purchase I've ever made. It's just slow, clunky, even though it has a great following and there's a nod back. Tommy's, it was a horrible, horrible vehicle. I don't know why my brother still has one of them, but he does. Natalia's working on the Nissan GTR right now, right, Natalia?
Yay! Doing my job.
She's doing what she does best, sitting. She's working on a selling price for the GTR. Unfortunately, I'm gonna take a bath on that thing. I probably put about $330,000 into it. I'm hoping we get somewhere around 250. He thinks it might be 225. He might be right, so not gonna argue about that. And then the only other car that I would have taken a loss, or I did take a loss on this year, was my brown Porsche Safari. While that was fun, it was a vibe car, I never drove it. So to kind of clarify my comment before, I need to drive them. They need to fit in those 3 buckets, and they have to be fun to drive.
There's nowhere to drive the Safari around here. Like if we were in like northern Wisconsin, like if there was somewhere where we could like off-road that thing and really put it to the test, I think it would have a spot in the collection. Yeah. But we can't. There's nowhere to off-road around.
Daily off-road it, because we had so much fun.
That car was a fun car.
I was amazed at how well that thing performed. Yeah. Actually lost money I thought I would make, but I bought it for like 105, sold it for 91. And so those are the only 2 cars, but because the market is so stupid and so strong, I have made a decent amount of money on every single car that I have sold really this year. So, and again, if the market wasn't the way that it is, I'd probably just hold on to all of these. I don't know. Maybe that's not the right thing to do. Maybe I wouldn't. But.
Well, I wanted to also note that, so you sold the Plaid, the Safari's already gone, GTR rolls and 48 are all for sale. So with all of those being sold, that's like, if you were to sell all of them, I think you're not making money, but you're getting back $775,000, I want to say. That's one deposit on a hypercar that you have like that. Yeah. So like people are seeing the cars leaving the collection, but you're not seeing what's coming. Like there's so many hypers coming that it'll replace all of these and more.
The driving force is the changing collection dynamic and the strong market, but of course there's not infinite money in the world. And I learned very recently that when you spec and build a new car, even if it's not due for 2 years, you have to do significant payments along the way. Yeah. So I'm getting a text about my Yesco that's not even gonna be here for probably another 14 to 18 months. And I have to throw down a $1.2 million deposit to get that thing built a little bit quicker. So that comes into play a little bit. It's nice to have cash. Cash is not infinite.
But even the 5 cars you sold like barely cover half of one deposit on one hyper. That's crazy.
I know. Are we missing any cars, Tommy? Let's see. The R8's broke. Oh, let me discuss the R8 and the Porsche, because those are not vibe cars. Those are not really special supercars. I'll get into that. And then those are not hypercars. But the Porsche GT3 RS is the most fun supercar you can drive, right? The under the $300,000 price range. It's a badass car, loud exhaust. I thoroughly enjoy it, so I drive it a lot. There's no way I'm gonna get rid of that. That is one of the few exceptions. The Audi R8 I do not drive at all, but my crew really love it. So Tommy, Natalia.
He literally keeps that car just for us. It's so dumb. It's a great car. That's a great car.
That's the THC beater. The GTR is the
beater?
THC. I don't even know her. I don't even know her. Tommy, you just got married, yeah, bro?
I sure did. Super married.
You should leave a comment below and just congratulate this guy for getting married. How is Heather doing and adapting to it?
Keep my wife's name out your mouth.
All right, well.
You're probably watching Steve do some pretty cool stuff with hypercars. Well, he's actually our boss, our daddy, you might say, at Fitment Industries, and we do some pretty cool stuff too. While we're doing all that stuff, we're teaching you guys the best wheels, tires, and suspension for your cars at fitmentindustries.com. Check it out.
There is another car potentially on the chopping block, and that is my Pagani Huayra. Definitely not a definitive sale, but the coupe without the Tempesta package, I am told, has escalated greatly, because everybody that has those coupes is turning them into a Tempesta. So the more people that do that, the more rare that the coupe becomes, and it's raising the price on those a little bit more rapidly than the other models. And frankly, right now it's in for service, but frankly, I don't drive it as much as the other hypers. I really value my relationship with Pagani. I will tell you why they're the best hypercar manufacturer in some aspects in another video. But that one's one that I'm really scratching my head about, and that could be one to leave the collection soon. If I came along with a great Huayra Roadster BC or just a BC, then all day long I'll take one of those if the spec is good. It seems hard to find like a really good spec. They all seem very eccentric to me.
Well, as you can tell by the C10, or the Utopia, if you haven't watched our Utopia spec video, that spec is very low key. Like the car speaks for itself, so you don't have to do something absurd. Like there's that green and brown carbon BC. That's just not Steve's taste. Like that's a weird car. So something clean that's not too futuristic or too out there.
Mm-hmm. And then new car on order that, well, I'm on a waiting list. I'm hoping that we can get a production slot, but it's been a little bit longer than I expected. That's what she said, and not in my case. So it's been a month and a half, I think, since I filled out that form. And we are trying to get a Gunther Works, the new Porsche that they are building that is a twin turbo model.
Tornado is what it's gonna be sick. We saw one when we were in Monterey, and that it is gorgeous.
It is gorgeous and just fully.
Do you think you drive that? Does that fit in Hyper or the Vibe car?
That's definitely more of a vibe car. It is 90s, so we don't really have 90s vibe cars. For me, it kind of starts 80s and older, but I think that one will still be fun to drive, and that one will be, I think it falls into the vibe category.
I'm trying to get him to get a full carbon body car. He won't do it yet. I think that might be the one, depending on price, but we need a carbon car in the collection.
Could be.
Yeah.
I'm with you there. I think there will be a car that will get carbon that will make sense. I'm with you.
We needed one.
I definitely agree. So 2 awesome updates about my limos. First of all, my 1983.
Oh God, limos plural. It's so big.
83 Cadillac Fleetwood Brougham limo, blue cloth interior. Love it. I'm throwing an LS motor, LS1 to be specific, which is special to me because it's the same motor that they use in like the 98 to 02 Camaro. And so super cool. Excited for that.
I'm over here like, I know what you're talking about. I have no idea. It's like
that comes back any day now. And then the other one that I ordered is the synonym to the 80s Cadillac, and that was the 80s Lincoln Town Car Limousine. So I have an 89, could be an 88. It's one of those two, same thing. White stretch limo with tan leather interior, which should make Tommy feel a little bit less cringe about sitting in it. But
the interior is the main thing that kills me in the other one. Yes. Leather interior, I feel like can be cleaned thoroughly. We're like old foam and like.
I know. But they are a vibe and a half, and I love them. So that thing arrives like tomorrow. So both of my limos come back in a few days, Tommy, and that will be the new THC mobile.
Oh yeah.
That'll be Tommy's company car.
That's my daily.
On that note about the changing dynamic of the collection, look at our new t-shirts. If you haven't noticed, I've got the new Hamilton Collection retro design. The back, TWSS. What does that mean, you say? That means that's what she said. And then we have this other design, which is similar to the old one, just a gray and black logo.
All blacked out.
Click on this link in the description or the link below, and you can buy some of this merch. Just as a reminder, all of the revenue that THC makes is donated personally through me and my wife. So you're doing a good thing by helping us out. We bid the Ferrari, the Rolls, and the GTR farewell. And thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe below. And click on that notifications button. Thanks, y'all.